We're live, honey. Did you got to figure it out?
Yeah, I gotta figure out how to make it public on my iPad. Hey, so it's been a while, maybe a couple months since we've been live.
Has it been that long?
Maybe.
What have we been doing?
Well, every time I say, "Hey, Chris, let's go live," he does. And I'm like, well, now I don't want to do it. So you just killed it for me. So he's been keeping me from going live.
Oh, yeah. Just throw me under the bus. Go right ahead.
Go ahead, talk.
So tonight we wanted to come to you just to catch up, say hi, see how everyone's doing. And there's a topic we're going to talk about that may or may not be controversial for some of you, but we're going to talk about it anyways. And hopefully, with what we say, maybe it will impart a different way of looking at the holiday season.
Yeah. Ultimately, we're coming from a pure heart, and we really just want people to live more of a peaceful, less stressful life. And it is possible. And we put ourselves through a lot of stress that's just unnecessary. We got to host an amazing health and wellness retreat in
Our first ever.
And it's on our dream board. My dream board's right there.
Yep.
In Tennessee. And we had people from, they were my clients from 9 different states. And it was life-changing. Chris got to baptize 2 very special people.
Yep.
So we've been doing that. My daughter's pregnant and she lives in Australia. She has been here. She is due in February and she's having a boy. And
she's been here a month.
Yeah. So she'll go back tomorrow. So our focus has been on that, but we have missed pouring into everyone.
That's right. So the retreat was such man, it was such a blessing. It was something that Tiffany and I had dreamed about for many years doing. And we had it on the dream board. We talked about it. We discussed it. And man, it just came to pass, and it was such a wonderful experience. I know that everyone who participated and showed up, they were transformed. And guys, we were transformed too. Like it's, we've been to many retreats, but we were actually on the other side serving people. And we had an amazing team who helped us. We couldn't do it on our own. So it was absolutely incredible. Everyone left just aligned. That was our word for the retreat, was align, and that was our goal. We wanted everyone to feel aligned. So
I have a bunch of new followers, and I think it's important for everyone to know, and I'm so excited about that, how far we have come, and that we have not always been where we are today. 2.5 years ago, I hit my last and final rock bottom. I was very successful on the outside looking in. You would probably never know that I was drinking way too much and I was wanting to not live anymore. And I might have looked healthy, but now that I've really gotten healthy, if you look at before and after pictures, it's pretty incredible how different I look since I have been sober for 2.5 years. And Chris joined me on that journey. He is not an alcoholic, but I don't know that I could be this successful if you weren't not drinking too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I went from trying to kill myself for the 4th time and checking myself into treatment to where we are today. And I wrote a book and it's been out for a year. And
you should get the copy. Hold it up for everyone to see.
So,
if you haven't got it, you definitely highly recommend you get it.
Wounded to Warrior.
Yeah. And yes, we're shamelessly self-promoting, but it is actually a really great book. Now, I know her story. Hold on, let me tell. I know her story, but when you see it on paper and it's written, it really has a different, I don't know, it's a profound impact on you. Like you get to see Tiffany's life from very young age and to where she's at now. And she tells you her story. And if you told the whole story, it'd probably be a book like that way. But anyways, it's all the great highlights and all that. But the cool thing, guys, is Wounded to Warrior and how to participate in your own rescue. That Tiffany was constantly in a victim mindset. Life is always happening to her. Why does this? It was just terrible, right? So in this book, yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah.
In this book, not only does she tell you her story, but she is going to gift you with the opportunity to help you get yourself unstuck and participate in your own rescue if you so need that.
Yeah, so it's not just my story, it's solutions. And anyways, a lot of the tools that I share in my book are what I use every single day, and they have radically transformed my life. So I believe that when you transform your mind, your body will follow. Anyway, so radically different people today than we were 2.5 years ago. And our mission is to empower others to be radically transformed into the person that God created them to be. And so that's kind of the serious stuff. Well, this is serious what we're going to talk about, the holidays. And I'm very passionate about this. And I almost fell into the trap when we got in a fight.
We did, guys. We were laying in bed 7:30 watching a movie. And I'm like, you want to have this conversation now? This is our relaxed time. Well, what are we going to buy the kids? And
yeah, so what are we talking about? Christmas. The holiday that everybody stresses about and goes into debt over and falls into the busy trap, and they put their entire life and health journey on hold for one day out of the month. And the day that we're supposed to be focusing on Jesus's birth, and it is turned into a commercial nightmare.
Oh gosh, it's horrible. And I've always felt that way for a very long time, off and on. It's just been something that never really made sense to me. The happiest time of year is probably the most stressful. I heard a stat on the radio the other day that it said between February, let's see, no, what was it? November to January. Anyway, something like that. During the holiday season, more strokes, more heart attacks, more crazy things happen to people because of the stress associated with the holiday season.
So why do we have to buy gifts? Why do we pick this one day out of the month? There's a couple of them sprinkled throughout strategically by the commercial industry throughout the year, that we spend a lot of money on gifts, and what for? And people will stress themselves out and go into debt over this holiday. And why? I want to encourage everyone to ask why. Why do you do that? Why have you accepted this to be your truth and just been passed down year after year after year? So
generation after generation, too.
Generation. We have 4 kids, and we have each other. We don't buy Christmas gifts.
Yeah, not like the normal folks do, right?
Yeah. I mean, we don't. There's a tree up that my 13-year-old put up. I don't even decorate. I mean, he loves to do it, so I let him do it. It doesn't have to be perfect. I don't even care anymore. But let me tell you, probably 14 years ago, when we first got married, I'd have a total meltdown just putting the Christmas tree up, because Christmas for me was stressful, and it reminded me of a lot of trauma. Mm-hmm. So that can happen with a lot of people. Anyway, so we finally got to this place where we're like, we don't have to buy anything. Why do we have to? And
I remember, like, we would unload the box where the Christmas tree was at, and you could see all of the beer tops that had accumulated themselves over the years inside the Christmas decoration box.
I would just straight up get drunk the entire time I was putting the tree up.
Guys, it was a nightmare.
Thing.
It was terrible. I'm like, why are we even doing this? It's so terrible for you.
So how many people out there get drunk while they put the Christmas tree up?
Ooh.
Yeah. Are you having cocktails while you're decorating and calling it a good time?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have a lot of people in my life, and I have some wonderful clients, and I've coached a lot of people that will just straight up stop their journey working on themselves because they need money for Christmas. And this makes no sense to me. I just don't understand it. Why parents stress out so bad about giving their kids a gift that they don't even need. They will put their life and their sanity and their health on hold to get a kid a gift that they don't need. Now, what is that teaching your kid?
That's a great question. It sounds like to me that we are passing down that stress, that anxiety, that worry, that all of those negative emotions when it's supposed to be the happiest time of year. And we're caught up in the trappings of what the world tells us we're supposed to do. And we don't really actually know why.
And nobody questions it. I mean, ask yourself, why am I going into debt and making this such a big deal and letting my kids do this long list and then I go get it. I mean, that's the thing, is like, why? Anyways, so we don't really buy Christmas presents, but here's what happened. I started drifting back into that mindset of, oh my gosh, I got to do something for my kids. You know, we're not going to like buy a whole bunch of stuff, but I wanted to do like something nice. And I was getting in my head that like, I don't want to be a horrible mom, because if I don't get them at least one thing, then I'm just going to be the crappy mom, and they're going to be like going to therapy when they get older. So I'm getting Christmas presents. Anyway, so I picked a fight with Chris because I wanted to get them iPhones, because they're the twins in particular. They're 13. They don't have a phone, and well, they do.
They do have phones.
It's true. They have a phone that is not
but
cool. So
it's not cool. So, anyways,
so they're so good, and really, we never buy them anything really, because they just don't need anything. We make them earn money, and they buy their own stuff, and it's worked out really well. That's why
it's teaching them responsibility.
That's why our kids are so good.
And we do buy them things from time to time. Don't lie. But anyway,
they're not. We're not child abuse. Anyways, I had this idea that let's help them get an iPhone, and that can be their big gift. And I was playing it out in my head, and it's going to be like so exciting. And they're going to be, it's going to be this moment. We're going to surprise them, because they would never think that we would do that. And Chris was like, no. And he doesn't tell me no, really, ever. And
did you say that live on camera?
It really triggered me when he said no. I got really irritated. I'm like, fine. What do you mean no? And so, so I almost fell into that trap. And he's like, well, what did you say?
We wanted them to earn it.
You did.
Yeah.
I changed my mind.
You did change your mind. We wanted them to earn it. We wanted them to feel what it's like to have to work towards something and earn something.
Oh, hey. Yes, Andrea, it's been a while. We are back.
We're back. But anyway, so, I had a similar experience when I was a kid. We didn't have a lot of money, and there were things that I needed or things that I wanted, and I had a job, and I learned the value of working hard and paying for something on my own. And I took really great care of those things. What I've noticed a lot of times is when kids are handed things, especially a $1,500 computer, they get destroyed or broken or lost or flushed or whatever. And so they haven't learned that value on hard work and sacrifice, and not only just the hard work it takes to get it, but protecting it, taking care of it, not dropping it or whatever.
So I will say, with my 23-year-old, we did not let her get a phone until she could pay for it. And we made her make a monthly payment. And she was probably like 14-ish. She was babysitting, and she paid every single month. We made a payment that she could afford, that was realistic. And she never once lost the phone or broke the phone. But we're kind of digressing. But it was, for some reason, I've gotten a little soft, and I feel like I owe the twins something. But anyways, it was just a moment.
Yeah.
So the cool story was, because here's the cool thing, is our kids are growing up in a home where personal development and emotional intelligence, awareness, boundaries are extremely important.
Yeah.
They have it's caught, not taught.
Mm-hmm.
And
what kids learn is caught, not taught.
So we are actually, it's really cool, because we're getting evidence that the way we are living our life is how they're picking up on it.
Mm-hmm.
So Chris took them to school the next morning.
So to appease my beautiful wife here, I said, why don't we just ask them? Instead of us sitting here fighting about it, let's ask them what they want. And she didn't really have a lot to say about that, because, I was right. But anyways, I take them to school, and I said, hey, boys, Christmas is coming up. You all thought about what you want to get? You have a list? Do you have anything that you want, that you need? And there was silence. And I said, no, seriously, guys, just have you thought about what you want? And, they said, Dad, we don't really need anything. And I was like, oh, dang, did they just, I was like, okay, well, if you could pick 3 things besides a phone, something that you've been thinking about, or something that you might need, like clothes or shoes or what have you, is there anything?
He's like, help me out. I got to give your mama.
Yeah, pretty much.
Got to give her something.
Yeah. And so they still said, no, we're good, man. We really don't need anything we need throughout the year. You guys, take care of it, or we buy it. We earn money and we do it. And I just I just had this super proud, like, dad moment. I was like, man, parent score, man, we have done a great job. And it just really made me think, what, like Tiffany just said, what we're doing in our house, it's actually working. Like our kids are picking it up. And it just made me feel really good. And so
when we talk about what we're doing, like, I talk about what I'm doing in my book. And when I coach my fitness clients, I am teaching them what I am doing. And there's a massive impact when you do the tools in my book. You should read it, or let me coach you. There's a massive impact and ripple effect in your family. And we are getting to see proof of that. Not to interrupt, but I did interrupt.
That's okay.
Anyway, so it's not a thing if you don't make it a thing. Like, they just know that we don't buy Christmas presents, and they don't expect it. And so far, they may go to therapy when they get older.
No.
But if it's not that, it'll be whatever. So somebody had told me one time, parent however you want, because your kids are going to go to therapy over something, no matter what, probably. So just do the best you can. Anyway, so that was one story. So we're not getting we'll do some stuff in stockings or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, one year too, this is a great idea. We gave all 4 kids money, like, it wasn't much, maybe a $20 bill, and with a note in the stocking that said they, could keep it or donate it to whatever charity or cause they wanted.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they took the $20 bill out of the stocking and they just handed it to me immediately, all 4 of them. So I want to ask, are you a giving person? Or are you a giving family? Your kids will see if you are giving and serving. So it was really cool. There was like no second thought. They just handed me the money, and then we distributed it to wherever they wanted to give. That's a cool idea too, if you want to see what your kids do with that. Yeah. Because honestly, it's going to be a reflection of whatever you're teaching them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. Very good.
Yeah. Here's another cool story. Boundaries. Are you teaching your kids boundaries? If you don't have boundaries, your kids will not have boundaries either. Who has the best boundaries?
You have the best boundaries. You used to not, thank God, but you do now.
So I have no problem saying no, and my no means no, and I don't have to explain myself. I have very, very strict boundaries, and that has kept me mentally healthy, and it's protected my environment, my peace, and my sobriety. So if you don't have boundaries, your kids will not have boundaries. And I have been modeling this for 2.5 years really, really well. Mm-hmm. And so one of the twins, they were up late studying. So they have separate rooms and they study with their friends on FaceTime. And Tegan, one of them, he was up late studying with a friend, and Talon was in bed, and they were calling Talon because they wanted Talon to study with them too. And it was after 10 o'clock. And the next morning, Tegan was like, Talon, why didn't you study with us? And he said, I told y'all to never call me after 9. That is my boundary. And I do not talk on the phone after 9. I am too tired. Do not ever call me again. That's my boundary. Don't call me again after 9. My phone is on do not disturb from 9 to 7. And he used the word boundary. Uh-huh. And it was just so passionate. We're like, Wow. Okay. So really think about what you are modeling for your children, because that's what they're going to do. They're not going to do what you say.
That's right.
So back to Christmas, you do not have to buy presents. You do not have to go into debt. And what would it look like for you to change things up this year and not do all those things, like play it all the way out?
Yeah. Or maybe even if that's like really scary and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do that. What if you cut back 50%? You know, just 50%. How do you think you would feel after? Your stress level, in my opinion, would be 50% less. You would feel 50% more accomplished and 50% more, better about yourself and what you've been able to do and how you're creating a new legacy for your kids.
And if buying gifts are putting you in a financial bind, or you're having to say no to things that keep you healthy, you probably don't need to be buying it. And the thing is we make it a thing, and it's most of the time the person that we're buying for, it's not about them. It's really about you giving the gift. They probably would be just fine if you didn't give them anything, or if you made them a gift. Really, it's an ego thing, and we're making it about us.
And ego is an acronym for edging God out. Yeah. So that's all, right?
Well, yeah, just don't stress yourself over Christmas. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Your kids will be fine.
They'll be fine.
They don't need things on Christmas.
That's right.
Just because the society says they do.
That's right. That's right.
So, that's really what we wanted to share tonight, is to make you realize that you don't have to buy gifts,
or at least give you some information for you to chew on and think about and process and go, what if I could do something different?
Well, what makes me so passionate about this is when I hear how stressed people are, and it's not necessary. You're stressed and you're worn out and you're worried, and for what? It's not necessary at all. We're creating it, and you have to ask yourself, like, sometimes we are addicted to stress and it's comfortable, and that may or may not be you. But if you keep going back to something that stresses you out, you're addicted to the emotion attached to what you're doing. That's
true. Very true. Like you used to be. Yeah.
I'm speaking
from chaos.
I'm speaking from experience.
And if there wasn't chaos, you would create it.
I would. It takes one to know one.
And I was like, what are you doing? Everything's fine. We don't need to do that. Anyways, that's all we got for tonight, y'all.
Yeah. So I'm excited. We are going to get back to these live sessions. We're going to do some fun stuff. We want to encourage and entertain people. Please like, share, follow all of my things. I mean, I really just want to impact and help people be radically transformed, because everyone was made for greatness, and you all have it in you. And a lot of the things that are stressing you out or holding you back, you just need a little bit of direction and what to do next to get rid of it. Because I don't think people realize that they're keeping themselves stuck. And when I write about how to participate in your own rescue, you are the only person that can dig you out of your hole. And taking personal responsibility for everything in our lives is so important, and it's empowering. And that's how true transformation happens. And anyway, so we'll be back, and I'm going to start cooking again with Eliza. She's amazing. So stay tuned for that. More cooking lives. What are you going to do?
I'll be right here with you.
Okay,
all right. See y'all later. Bye-bye.
Like, share, and subscribe for the best in fitness and mindset coaching.